Morning, everybody. Welcome to the Friday live stream. Don't adjust your mic or your speakers. My voice does sound like this. Went a little bit late last night and was yelling a little bit too much, so the voice sounds a little bit different. But there is good news abound, and the good news this morning. This was from Julian Farrer, and it looks like there was a release of the 13F Bitcoin ETF filings. And we can see that the thing that we all were understanding beforehand, that there's massive interest and massive adoption going on. This is from big names: Cantor Fitzgerald, Citadel, Royal Bank of Canada is investing into the Bitcoin ETF. Goldman Sachs, which we'll get to in a second. Morgan Stanley, the State of Wisconsin Investment Board, Bank of America, UBS, HSBC, and Macquarie Bank. And of course, there'll probably be others coming in, and we'll see what happens with the different revelations of what are potentially happening with other corporations as they start to pull the MicroStrategy playbook and put Bitcoin on their balance sheets, as they should have been doing a long time ago, but I forgive them for that. But it is good news, and it's looking pretty great. And, Goldman Sachs has had a cantankerous relationship with Bitcoin. And this is from Bitcoin Magazine. Looks like Goldman Sachs, they hold over $700 million worth of Bitcoin ETFs per SEC filing. That is not some chump change. That is quite a bit of coin. And good for them. But the reason why I labeled this thumbnail as liars, I should have just called it liar, because that's what I can say here. But and maybe it's not, maybe that's just me being a little bit too harsh on these people. But to take a step back, Goldman Sachs for quite some time, they've kind of tiptoed around the issue. And this is from April 3rd, 2024. And it states, "We're not believers. Goldman Sachs doubles down on crypto skepticism despite Wall Street embracing Bitcoin ETFs." This is Sharman Mosavir-Romini, Chief Investment Officer of Goldman Sachs Wealth Management. And again, April 3rd, 2024, just not believers. However, there were signs that they were doing things, but it's funny how, one side, I just don't believe that, one side doesn't know what the other side is doing. I think they all have a unified message, I would assume. But there were some telltale signs behind the scenes. Goldman Sachs, this was on December 6, 2022. Goldman Sachs to spend tens of millions of dollars on crypto firms. But they had their advisors, or some of the people that were in charge of investments, going, "Yeah, we really don't believe in Bitcoin," and that's just how it is, as of April. And then all of a sudden, August, Goldman Sachs jumps into Bitcoin ETFs, and a hedge fund gets bullish on miners. So this is them saying that, hey, we now had 418 million worth of Bitcoin funds. I just find it interesting that from such a short amount of time, April, May, June, July, August, in 5 or 6 months, all of a sudden they just got on board. I don't know if that is the case, but it just seems kind of odd, but I will welcome them as they come in. Actually, we should be more excited. And when we have that, we can also take a look at, what's going on behind the scenes. This is from CryptoQuant, great website, links in the description. And it talks about the Bitcoin Exchange Reserve, all exchange. Now, this is a difference from the OTC desk. This is just how much Bitcoin is on each and every exchange that they can find. And we can see that going back to 2023, they had quite a bit, plus 3 million, 3.6 million. We can see since 2023 just how things have, obviously the price goes up, people are not willing to put it onto the exchange, or they're figuring out that maybe they shouldn't leave it on there, and they take it off. So right now we're at 2.5 million. Not a big factor. I know some people will look at this and go gaga over it, but it's just one indicator of how there is demand. I'm not saying that it's all drying up and there's this supply shock that everybody keeps talking about. Sure, I guess. But it just kind of shows you where things are going. Also, the ETF itself, we are again at all-time highs as far as the Bitcoin flows. Always been positive since the inception. Total net flows are 5,427 Bitcoin. I think we can see the holdings themselves. We can see that the big winner will be IBIT, of course, BlackRock. Next to that will be MicroStrategy, this Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, Fidelity. Wow, Tether Holdings, look at that. Publicly traded miners, and Tesla, 12,000 Bitcoin still on the sheets. And that's Bitcoin. Now, if we take a look at Ethereum, just as an update, as far as total goes, I mean, even it's doing okay. I was kind of concerned about that because for quite some time, the totals were hovering around negative, a little bit of positive, and then back to negative as Grayscale starts dumping. But even the Ethereum ETF is, as of today, positive, 238 million worth of the ETF flow. So that's good. That's positive. And then also, this just broke about a couple of hours ago. I had heard this happening. I just didn't know how much. And it looks like Pennsylvania, the state of Pennsylvania, is buying into the theory of the Bitcoin strategic reserve. And they're going to allocate 10% of its $7 billion to buy Bitcoin. Of course, it has to go through their legislature, and they have to vote on it. But looking pretty positive, especially if the almighty United States government is going to do the same thing. And then, of course, we've got other nation states actually bidding on it, and we've actually have other institutions and other states doing things like we just took a look at. Which was it? The State of Wisconsin Investment Board. So Pennsylvania will be in good company as they bring things out. So that was essentially what's going on with Bitcoin in a very quick amount of time. But don't lose sight of altcoins as well. Now, I know that some of you just only invest into Bitcoin. Great. I have invested heavily into Bitcoin. It should only make sense to me. But alts will outperform Bitcoin. It's just truth. And the question is, which ones are they? Now, are they going to be around forever? No, they're not. But just take a look at some of these big gainers today. Well, first of all, Dogecoin. Congratulations, Dogecoin holders. In 30 days, you're up 190%. It's pretty good. But then we see something going on, which is interesting, with XRP. Up 21% in 24 hours, 7 days, 58%, 30 days, 60%. Cardano, 17%. Gosh, Tron's up also. Look at that. And what's the other big stuff? Bitcoin Cash, Pepe, 60. So I'm just telling you, like, you think this is something? Just wait. There's going to be bigger news on the horizon, I think. And that's what we have right there. And this is just a quick snapshot. We talked about this at NFA Live a couple of days ago. But this is my retirement account with iTRUST. I have a Roth IRA, and I bought these back in October, and they're already outperforming. Actually, I think Pepe now is above SWI, if I'm not mistaken, but this is from a couple of days ago. It's outperformed gold, silver, and Toncoin. It's outperformed Solana and SWI in a very short amount of time. So don't fade the altcoins, and also don't fade some of these meme coins. They're gambling, but hey, that's what we're here for. And then also, big news on Cardano. This is just rumors swirling. I know Charles had come out on his live stream. He had talked about how he's going to be advising or educating some members of Congress on blockchain and digital asset technology. And then all of a sudden, a couple of days ago, he's stopping by over there at SpaceX, and he says, "Oh, Hawthorne sure is pretty," which I guess that's where SpaceX is at, in Hawthorne. And if you remember, during the floods, World Mobile assisted Starlink in their efforts to connect the unconnected. And there was a documentary that's being put out, and it looks like Starlink and World Mobile are doing some kind of collaboration. Now, this is just them praising, this is just Starlink praising World Mobile. There's nothing official. Let me make that 100% clear. And it's just quite interesting. On top of that, I got a nice, because I was thinking to myself, well, maybe he just says Hawthorne's pretty, but I guess he's there at SpaceX talking to Elon and the gang about whatever Charles is talking about. I'm going to guess it's probably something about Cardano. And then this was interesting. I'm trying to put the dots together. And Chuck has been very svelte, nice, accommodating to some of the other blockchain crypto companies out there. And I just didn't understand why he was talking to Brad Garlinghouse. I just didn't get it. But now I kind of see where things are going. And he says, I just spoke with Brad Garlinghouse November 12th. He's a great CEO, extremely collaborative. I'm excited to see how the future unfolds. Thanks to the kind words, now's the time for the crypto community to come together, push for a level playing field and clear rules to the road. And I just wonder like why this is going on. If you hadn't seen it, there's another legislative rumor circulating that Donald Trump wants to have exempt taxes on all blockchain or crypto companies that are based in the United States. And then also there's rumors about some type of smart contract voting that may be done on a secure chain. And that's just a rumor, but you can kind of figure that out, which chain they're thinking of using. So that could be just one of the many reasons why XRP is going up. I want to congratulate all the XRP holders. If anybody needs or deserves a win, it would be you guys, because it was not easy to get here. So congratulations. And for all this good talk, I cannot let you get away with walking out of here and going, this is great. Everything's going to go up. Rob just talked how great it was. No, no, no. You must take the bad with the good. And this is just something to put in the back of your mind. Maybe think about this. This is Kevin Malone, wealth manager. And he says here, all of the richest billionaires are selling the market all-time highs, while all the poor people are going all in right now. People will never learn, follow the money for F's sake. And you can see that on here, and we actually talked about this. You see this Jeff Bezos? Sell. November. Brazil, I don't know what Brazil company is. Carp Alexander, Macromind Investments. Brian Armstrong, I know that guy. Looks like he sold some Coinbase on November 11th. Interesting. John DeKel, Smith Bryant, Rhonda Stryker, Tech Cross Management, Joel Bender, Sanjay Gahandra. A lot of other ones. Nevada Trust, I don't know about that one. But it's just something to keep your mind on. We actually talked about this just, almost 2 weeks ago. And I go, warning, there's a sell-off happening by the gurus. One of those is Jeff Bezos, and the other one was Warren Buffett. And we took a look at a website which tracks exactly what Kevin is talking about here. And what we talked about is it's just kind of odd how Bezos and a couple of others, they kind of have the pulse. They kind of know where the market is going. I think maybe they're wrong, but it was interesting just to see their selling patterns, which was right before the pandemic. And they did nothing but accumulate in 2022. They sold before the pandemic. They sold on the top of 2021. They did in December 2021. They haven't done anything in 2022, 2023, now in 2024, November, that's when they start selling. I just found it an interesting time frame. So watch that video, give some good insights into that. And then also, don't forget, Warren Buffett, he's stockpiling cash. And he cut, I think, 25% of Apple out. So maybe he thinks something's going on with Apple. And you can just see that he had a pretty good, let's be honest, the guy's got a boatload of money, and so he's been accumulating. He knows that he knows a recession is coming. A recession's coming. Can we all agree that that's going to happen? Is it going to happen tomorrow? Probably not. But it's something to be concerned of. And I think what it is, all we have to do is take a look at the spreads. This is Ben's website, and we take a look at the Treasury yield spreads. The 10 and 3, the 10-year and 3-month. And I want you to notice something in this gray shadowed area. These are recessions. So the only time this hasn't happened is in 1966 and 7, where the yields inverted, then uninverted, got back to baseline, and went up and didn't have an issue. That didn't happen in 1970, when we had an inversion and uninversion recession. In 73, inversion, uninversion, a lot of mess, recession. 79, 80, you get the point. 1990, 2000, I mean, but you'll notice one thing here. It's not like it immediately comes in, right? Once it inverts, when is this? December 89. And the recession isn't called until 1990, July 1990. That's a long time. And we can see it here. And we can see there was a little gap here. Again, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Look at the depth. Actually, it's not as deep as the other ones, I could say. I mean, historically speaking. Well, we can see that in the 10 and 3 month, it's almost there, which means at some point you could have a recession in, immediately, which I doubt, or you could have it in a year, 18 months, or something like that. I personally believe that 2025 is still going to be a fantastically great year. But when you have a boatload of money like Warren Buffett, or when you have it like, I don't know, all these guys, you want to start to scale out a little bit because you're hitting all-time highs. Why wouldn't you do it? That's the stupidest thing ever, right? If you are having massive wealth and you hit all-time highs in the stock market and you have a bunch of your own stock, why wouldn't you sell it? Take some off the table. We talk about it all the time in our rules. Number 5, take profits. I got nothing wrong with that. So I still see it. 2025 is going to be big. We're going to keep printing money in the United States. Other countries will follow. We'll have a crazy 2025. Not for sure how long that'll last. Then we'll go into a recession. So plan accordingly. And if you don't think like, well, that doesn't make any sense, just go to the betting markets. Over at Polymarket, they accurately predicted that Trump would beat Harris by a large margin, I might add. And for all the pollsters, for all the Alan Lichtmans, for all the MSNBCs and CNBCs, CNNs, they all got it wrong. All the pollsters and their $1 million forecast models were all wrong. And all it was just a bunch of people like you and me going, I think this is going to work. So if you want to see how the recession might play out, just type in recession and it'll tell you. U.S. recession announced by the NBER, National Bureau of Economic Research, before May? No. Essentially, everybody's saying no. 92%, I guess. Or how about a U.S. recession in 2024? Not a chance. Not in this one. That makes no sense, right? So 2025, no. I'd be interested to see like how these numbers start to change. So if you want to find that out, go over to Polymarket. Me personally, I've got a friend named Bobby. Yeah. And Bobby because here's the thing. If you're an American citizen, you can't use Polymarket. And there's a disclaimer that says, if you are an American citizen, turn around right now. So of course, I did not do this. This is my friend Bobby. And Bobby bet on the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight tonight. And he bet $100. And if he wins, he gets $300. It's pretty good. But the odds are against him. And there's just this, I got to figure this out. I have not found an answer to this. Did you know that Polymarket has a liquidity rewards program? And apparently it's like almost like DeFi. Well, it is DeFi, essentially. I got to do a video on this because it looks like you can get paid for more betting that you do. I can't do it, but maybe I'll get Bobby to do it for me, and we'll see how it goes. But that's it for today. So look, if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. Everything we talk about is time sensitive. Now, if you want to do a Q&A, answer all your questions, and we'll go from there. But if you got to take off, take off. Enjoy the day. It's a beautiful day. All that good stuff.